Hi everybody, this is my new toy to the fleet, a 1998 Mark 1 Fiat Punto. It's a 1.2 litre and it is 60 brake horsepower, so a wee bit faster than the 1.155 brake horsepower model. 13-inch wheels. There's two hubcaps missing now on the car. I have them ordered, so they should be with me in a couple of days. Original Fiat Punto ones, so hopefully they'll look well. I've had a couple of Puntos in my time. There's a good lot of trim levels you can get. You know, the likes of the SX model that'll have front electric windows, colour coded bumpers. You'll have your power steering. This also has power steering. You'll have the likes of height adjustment then in the driver's seat. And then you can go up to the 80, 90 ELX models. They'll all come with slightly different fascia inside, and you'll have the likes of sunroof and even a 1.6 engine in the 90 ELX, for example, which is quite rare. There is a 1.7 diesel as well in the Caravan, which is even rarer. Although the car is only 24 years old, it's a very rare sight on Irish roads. You rarely see them. I think it actually looks quite smart, even though it is a 90s car. I think the rear lights are a lovely touch. They look very well, especially the red lights on the black bodywork. So to get into the boot, it's either key operated on the back, or there's a release switch just under the driver's seat. This is a 5-door model. You can get them in, like I said, a Caravan, which would be a 2-door or a 3-door model. You can do a 3-door passenger model, 5-door passenger model, and then a 2-door Cabrio as well. It's a very smart car to drive, and it has an awful lot of charm to it. I think it just looks very cheeky. That's the best way I can describe it. Everything is so curvy. Nice curves on the bonnet, even curves down the side, the way it flares out just over the wheel arches. I think it looks quite well. I'll show you around the inside now and let me know what you think. So this is the interior of the Punto. Again, nowadays very basic, but back when it first came into production in the early 90s, it was on sale in Ireland and the UK from 94. It would have been a huge step up, and it would have been high up on competition now with the likes of the what do we have, the Renault Clio and the Volkswagen Polo, which were in the Super Mini lineup as well. Very low mileage in this car. There's only 46,000 miles. On our left we have our fuel gauge. There's little quirks now you will soon learn to love on this car. So for example, if the petrol is low but your light hasn't come on just yet, going around a roundabout, it'll turn the light on once the petrol starts moving around in the tank. I think it's quite funny. In the S model now, you don't actually get a temperature gauge, so that's why that is blank there. You just have a light at the top that'll light up when it's too late, I suppose. On the middle then you have your speedometer in miles an hour, and then smaller yellows in kilometers. We then have our clock on the right hand side. On the higher spec models like SX and ELX, we'll have a rev counter here, and then where your interior light is, you'll have your clock, a digital clock, and a reading light up there. But in this model, I just have the interior light. No airbags, as you can see, but I'm A-okay. I'll just turn the ignition on just so you can have a look at a few items. So we have our lights and indicators on the left stalk. I always leave the lights on the on position, especially in the Punto, because when you turn the engine off, the lights go off and there's no annoying buzzing sound to remind you that they're on, because they'll automatically shut off, and once you turn the car back on, the lights will turn on then automatically, so it's handy. So you have indicators, and there's a nice sound off the clicking now as well. Lights are on, you have full beams then, and then just to flash your full beams you have as normal. Off, parking lights, and we have dipped headlights then. Horn is absolutely classic. I love when a horn suits the car, and this is absolutely perfect. I think that's absolutely great. It just has such urgency behind it, like I need to get to where I'm going, so get out of my way type of thing. On the right hand side then we have our wiper stalk. So we have up for a quick swipe. We have down then would be intermittent, regular speed, and then fast speed as well. And we have our back wiper here as well. If I pull the stalk back towards me, it'll put water on the main windscreen, and likewise if I push it away from me, it'll put water on the back windscreen. Behind then we have our headlight adjustment for the front lights, and steering wheel toys. That's literally about it there. We have then on the center console we have our fog light, which is here. That's rear fog light, there's no front fogs. Rear demister we have. There's temperature controls, speed controls, and then direction of fan as well. We have then an original radio. I think it's actually quite cute as well, because it's key coded with a card. So back in the early 90s, I presume radios were quite sought after, so people could easily take the card with them, and in theory the radio is not operational then. I'm sure in 2022 now there'll be a lot of ways around that, but back then it wouldn't have been much use to anyone. Underneath then we have our cigarette tray and our cigarette lighter as well. We have a little cubby then in front of the gear stick. It wouldn't hold much now. You might just throw a bit of loose change maybe, or maybe some spare keys. What I really like now is actually the precision on the gearbox. It might sound a bit clunky, but it actually goes in and out of gear very smoothly. So first, second, third, fourth, and fifth gear. To go into reverse, you push down and back to your right hand side. Into reverse gear. Behind then here we have a manual handbrake, seatbelt buckles of course, and then literally just to wind our seats up and down. The seat you can only wind up and down, but back and forward. The back support you can't adjust the seat height. To our passenger side then, again very basic. We've our glove box, very very small. 2 cup holders. I think they can hold a small can. They can't hold a coffee cup now, for example. We have a little pen holder in there as well then, which is a nice touch. Since this is the S model, there's going to be manual windows all around. In the likes of the SX model or ELX, you'd have your passenger switch up here for the windows. And likewise on this side there'd be slightly different door handle on the inside, and you'd have your 2 switches here. So that is the front interior of the Punto anyway. I'll show you around the back. I have the seat, just want to double check. yeah, I have it in my seating position. So I'll hop into the back and let you know what legroom and headroom is like. So in the back now, there's not a lot of knee room, but there's a large amount of foot room. So I remember reading about the Puntos, the seating position in them is a wee bit higher than the likes of their competitors. So there is actually that nice bit more leg room in the back. And it's actually nice having a soft material touch on your knees. Some cars nowadays, I remember being in the back of a Ford Ka before, and it's literally hard plastic the whole way down, so it wasn't comfortable at all for a rear seat passenger. And the back now we have our windy windows again, and there is a cigarette ashtray here. Sorry, an ashtray as well. So that's handy now for the likes of even just throwing bits of rubbish in if you have any passengers in the back. There is 3 seats back here, but as you can see, it's not going to hold 3 adults. Ideally for 2. Forgive the dog hairs now. I had the dog in it yesterday. We went for a little spin. I think it's actually lovely having the rear seatbelt clips. Keeps everything nice and tidy. They're not going to get stuck underneath the seat. So I think that's a lovely touch now as well. Headroom now is actually, so forgive the close-up. So I'm sitting normally. Plenty of headroom there. Lie back, I'm not actually hitting off the roof. So I think that's actually nice. And my partner Zoe, I can't actually rest the head back without hitting the roof. I'll show you now into the boot. There's a lever underneath the driver's seat. I'll just pull that and show you how to open it then. So this lever here, if we pull this, it'll release the boot. That's one of the hubcaps that are about to go onto the car. And an awful lot of boot space for a Super Mini back in the day. Spare wheel and jack is underneath here. So everything you need. A nice parcel shelf. Load lip wise is quite big, but that wasn't. Don't think that was really a problem back in the day. I'll show you around the engine bay and with the car starting as well. So here's the 1.2 fuel injection Fiat Punto engine. It's very easy to work on with regarding service and parts. So we have up here our power steering and brake fluid, oil level stick. We have our fuel cap, our oil cap where the fuel goes then. Behind, that's a Jubilee clip I have left there. Underneath here we have air filter, and when you remove these 2 screws here, you lift up this and then you can get to the 4 spark plugs. So I have those changed. Again, oil filter you have, so accessible. It's literally just in here, just in there a wee bit. And we have coolant and fan then towards the front. We have our battery, and that's where you top up the windscreen wash as well then. I'll start the engine and let us know what you think anyway, see how she sounds. So this is the engine running now. It runs nice and smooth. It's a lovely drive. I'll just give it a quick rev here so you can hear it. What I'll do now is I'll start the vehicle from the rear of the car just so you can get a look at the exhaust as well. So like I was saying, I leave the lights in the on position the whole time and they come on straight away. Well guys, thanks for looking at the video. hopefully you'll enjoy. It did. The Punto did get European Car of the Year in 1995, so hopefully it still holds its place with some people's hearts. Me personally, I absolutely love them. Very quirky cars. I have a few more videos on my channel. I'm trying to start up a good few reviews on cars. I absolutely love them. I've had quite a good few now in my time. So if you want to have a look at the other videos or leave comments on, certain type of cars that you'd like reviewed, preferably older, 90s and below would be great. And if you could like and subscribe, of course, that would be very helpful as well. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Chat to you soon.